But we will be talking a little bit of football in the build. Because it's a big deal. The Champions League draw is a massive deal in the world of soccer. The Champions League is probably the biggest competition a club can win. And so, we're going to be seeing who's going to go and play who's going to be in whose group. So we've got that coming up. So if you was wondering if we're going to be doing both, we are going to try and do both. We're going to be here for the press conference. The press conference doesn't actually take place for an hour and a half. Like, the whole reason as to why we're live is for the Champions League draw first and then the press conference. But because I think the press conference is coming after, then it made sense to have that as the thumbnail and have that as the title. So I know the coverage for the Champions League draw is going to be starting in about 15 minutes time, and then we go over to the press conference. So I'm hoping the one will end as the other begins. If there is a little bit of crossover, then we'll easily watch both. It's not going to be a problem. So I'm here for the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley press conference. Very much looking forward to seeing what they've got to say. I will go wherever the conversation wants us to go, wherever the chat wants us to go. We will go in that direction. I do have all the teams for the Champions League draw just in front of me, so we can kind of go through those. As well as that, we can talk about some of the things that Jake Paul has been saying. Jake Paul has been talking about how he is getting ready for this fight, when he believes that he's going to win. All that kind of stuff. Hello to everyone that's saying hello. There's lots of information, lots of details that are doing the rounds about when Jake Paul expects to get the win. Also, we know a little bit more about Tyron Woodley and how he's been training. Obviously, this fight is on Sunday and it's massive. It's absolutely huge. So we will be covering it. Jake Paul has said from the start he reckons he'll get the win within 9 minutes, but he's actually changed that now to 6. So it seems like he's getting more and more confident. He said that he would win within 3 rounds. Now he's saying it's going to be within 2. So he is getting more and more confident. We know that Tyron Woodley's been training with Floyd Mayweather. We know that he's had a long time to prepare for this. It's not like he's had a few weeks. I think Jake was saying he's had about 14 weeks. Like, Jake's saying that there's no excuses here. Tyron Woodley is being trained by Floyd Mayweather. He's in fantastic shape. He's had 14 weeks. Like, he's really putting over that Tyron Woodley is, giving his all. And he is, in all fairness. So I think the bookies have still got Tyron Woodley as a slight favourite. This is a big one for Jake. This really is a big one for Jake. If he wins this, he gets even more credibility. If he wins this, there will still be that cloud hanging over that he has yet to beat a boxer. He keeps talking about how he's taking boxing seriously, but he is yet to face a boxer. So I think, people are sort of waiting for him to take on a boxer, but you've got to give credit where it's due. He faced Ben Askren, a proper athlete, someone that has been in a cage and has won championships, won fights, someone that is a fighter, but primarily known for his wrestling, right? So, fair play. He went from a basketball player to Ben Askren, right? Now he's gone from Ben Askren to Tyron Woodley. This is, without doubt, the most dangerous person he has ever faced. Tyron Woodley is someone that can use his hands. He's someone that has had knockout wins. He's not necessarily known for his striking, but he's got better striking than Ben Askren. He's good enough whereby people expect Tyron Woodley to be able to beat Jake Paul, but there's no denying that I think people's idea that Jake Paul is just some YouTuber giving this a go, I think that's changed. Like, I don't have that impression of Jake Paul now. My impression of Jake Paul now is that he can fight. Like, he can box. Like, Jake Paul has done a good job of now not coming across as just, one of those YouTuber boxers. He isn't. He is better than that. He is better than that. It might pain people to admit it, but he is better than just being a YouTuber boxer. Like, he is someone now that we have to say is a boxer. Like, he can knock people out. He can knock people out. He is a boxer, and the people he's knocking out, like Ben Askren, was a former fighter. So I still want to see him take on a boxer. I think, to me, it's contradictory to say I'm taking this serious. You know, I'm working hard and I'm training hard and I want to be a world champion, and yet not face a boxer. He's never faced a boxer, and even Tyron Woodley is not a boxer. So he's being very clever about it. He's giving people big fights. He's giving people opponents that are just convincing enough that they might beat him, that it's got the interest level, you know, oh, this could be the one. But I'm waiting to see him face, like, you know, a boxer with a similar record. I'd like for him to face someone that is training boxing and has been training specifically boxing for a few years. Tyron Woodley will have done some striking, of course he would, but you know, he's having a camp now. He's had a 14-week camp with, like, Floyd Mayweather, which is going to massively help. But I just sort of feel like a boxer that's living boxing, breathing boxing. I want to see Jake Paul take on that person, and I don't know how long he's going to be able to not do that. Eventually, he's going to have to take on a boxer. And that will be very, very interesting. Of course, at that point, they'll find someone that's probably not all that great. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, look, if he wants to fight for a world champion and he wants to become a world champion, then let's see where he ends up. I give him credit for the way he's going about it. And my gut feeling is that he might get the job done on Sunday, you know. He might get the job done on Sunday. He absolutely. What I love about Sunday is, as I said, he just gets opponents that are just good enough that you go, oh, they could beat them. But the thing is, Tyron Woodley has been in decline for years. Like, he hasn't won a fight in like, I think it's like 3 years. He hasn't won a fight. So he is a former champion, but forget former, right? Forget former. We need to focus on now. Tyron Woodley hasn't won a fight in 3 years. He hasn't knocked anyone out in, I couldn't even tell you how long, forever. Let me have a look at Tyron Woodley's Wikipedia, because I think it's all well and good saying he's a former champion, he has knocked people out, all this kind of stuff. But where's Tyron Woodley now? You know, Tyron Woodley is 39 years old, which isn't too bad. It's not too bad. He hasn't won since 2018. And that was a submission. Before that, he won by decision. Before that, he won by decision. Before that, he drew. You've got to go back to 2016 when he knocked out Robbie Lawler. So you've got to go back 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Even 5 years ago, he was 34. Right? Jake Paul's 24. He's young, hungry. See what I mean? Like, you've got to go back. You've got to go back. I mean, when he knocked out Robbie Lawler, that's when he became welterweight champion. So he won the welterweight championship that way back in 2016. And in fairness, you know, he kept that belt all the way up to 2019 when he lost it to Usman. So before Usman was the welterweight champion, it was Tyron Woodley. Usman won the belt from Woodley. So, yeah, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult because he was welterweight champion in the UFC just a couple of years ago. He was beating people back in 2018. He knocked someone out 5 years ago. Like, there's definitely things there that make you go, okay, he could definitely win this. He could win this. Oh, he absolutely could win this. But we are talking years ago that he did these things. 5 years ago he knocked someone out. 3 years ago he last won a fight. So I do look at that and think, where are you now? I mean, he has lost his last 4 fights. He lost against Kamaru Usman by decision. He lost against Gilbert Burns by decision. He lost against Kofi Covington by TKO. It was a rib injury in round 5. And he lost round 1 submission against Luque. And that was in March of this year. He lost round 1 March of this year. So I'm looking at this thinking that, look, Jake Paul's got a great chance here. He's got a great chance to win this. Woodley could absolutely win it as well. It's a really, it is an interesting fight. It is an interesting fight. I just think that, Jake Paul has been training in boxing a little bit longer. He's had some fights where he knocked out Ben Askren. I don't think Sunday is going to be a concern for Jake Paul because he's been there and done it. This is the 4th, 5th time now that he will have gone out under the lights to fight someone. That pressure of, am I about to be knocked out? I mean, he's had that every time he's fought. I think that his confidence is growing as well. The fact that he said that he would do it in 3, now he's saying he'll do it in 2. That says to me that he's getting more confident with the results that are coming out of his training. He's got tons of money, so he can have the best training in the world. I genuinely believe he is living this as well. I think he is giving it his absolute all. I'd probably be leaning to Jake Paul. I'd probably be leaning to Jake Paul to win this. I did fancy Woodley. I really did, because I thought that this would be too much, but now we're getting closer. Maybe it's just me getting a bit nervous, but I'm starting to lean to Jake Paul. So I'm very much looking forward to the press conference. That's going to be in an hour and 15 minutes. Before that, we are going to have the Champions League draw, and we can focus on that. Let's go down. Let's go down everyone's comments. Sorry I missed your last few streams. No worries there. Abdullah said, how long do you think the match will go on for? Well, I think that, we could be looking at around... I actually don't know how long it is for, to be honest. I don't know how long the fight is scheduled for. How many rounds? Is it 8? How many rounds is Paul and Woodley? Let's have a look. 8 rounds, yeah. 8 rounds, catch weight of 190. So, Jake Paul saying 3, knock him out in 2. I don't actually know what Woodley's prediction is. Let's have a look. Woodley fight prediction against Jake Paul. I don't know if he's actually said. Scorecard. Mike Tyson makes a prediction. Let's have a look. Mike Tyson has made a prediction about Woodley. Jake Paul. Mike Tyson is backing Jake Paul to beat Tyron Woodley this weekend. The YouTube sensation squares off against former UFC champion in a boxing match, and the fight has got many people split. Can Woodley's background in combat sport be enough to earn him victory in his first crack at this sport? So, that is true. This is Woodley's first boxing fight. The former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson, a student of the sport, has been impressed with Paul's attitude when applying himself to this new craft. Woodley, who enjoyed and endured a tough career in the cage, is 39, and Tyson believes that Paul's aggression will be a key factor in the fight. Paul's a really good striker, said Tyson when speaking on the podcast. I think people do him a disservice when they go and say he's blonde, blue-eyed, white boy. I think that also builds up the opponent's courage and causes them to get knocked out. Jake's going to beat him. Woodley's not a puncher. That's why he wants to fight this guy, to get his last payday. I'm proud of them. Paul's getting to be an experienced fighter, and that's really cool. So, this is what Tyson's saying. Tyson's saying Woodley is not an experienced striker. He's not someone that, has been there and has been known for his striking or has got any kind of boxing background. And he's saying that this might be Paul's last payday before he, has to face a boxer, has to face someone that's got that striking background. We've got Teddy Atlas as well. Teddy Atlas is saying, Teddy Atlas, while Woodley has never competed, some believe that his success in MMA could come through into boxing. Paul can sell it because there's going to be credibility. He's fighting a guy that's tough. He's fighting a guy that was a striker and a champion. And that's part of the reason that it's going to sell. But you can only attach so much credibility. I'll say, and I'm not being disrespectful, Woodley's got a shot. He has the look of but he looks shot. Now, people are going to say because he's a professional fighter that he'll beat Paul. He's been in a bad place mentally. He's been in a bad place physically. He's not in the best place. Now, having said that, looking at his last 4 fights, he's lost to real fighters. God, it keeps going on here. Who are you picking? Paul is the bigger guy. He's stronger. He's got the advantage. He's got a decent right hand. He can be predictable. Woodley, though, can also be predictable and throws a slow jab. Bad news is, I think Paul knocks him out. There we go. So, Mike Tyson goes Jake Paul. Teddy Atlas goes Jake Paul. Now we're getting closer to the fight. I'm leaning Jake Paul. I think we are. I think we are going to see Jake Paul beat Tyron Woodley, to be honest. And I think this will be horrific for Tyron Woodley's career. But the one thing I will say is that Tyron Woodley definitely has got an opportunity to win this. Definitely has got an opportunity to win. Forever Yeet said Days Woodley will knock the Bizardvark out of Paul. No doubt. Paul is going to realise, holy Disney, that's how a fighter hits. T Wood all day. Well, honestly, I hope you're right. I'm someone that, I have to give credit where it's due. I mean, Jake Paul comes across as deeply unlikable. But I do have to give him credit that I think he is really, really giving his all here. I think he is really, really giving this everything. So I have to give him credit for that. I think he is in the gym all the time. I think he's working out all the time. I think he's boxing all the time. I think he's sparring all the time. I think when he gets hit by Tyron Woodley, that won't be the first time he's been hit. He will have been hit in sparring, and he's got really good sparring partners that are going to be hitting him as well. And I think that Jake Paul is, if he gets hit by Tyron Woodley, I don't think it's going to be. If they're going gentle with him, it's not going to work, is it? Like, Jake Paul needs to be, like, going to hell and back in training. And I think he is. Like, the one thing I won't question about Jake Paul is his commitment. Because I think that you look at his training videos, you look at him working the heavy bag, you look at him, his physique and how much it's transformed over the years. And it's clear as well, like, his footwork is good. The one thing I would say about Jake Paul is I don't know that he's got the speed. So I think his hand speed's quite good. But there was a few times where it just feels like when he was fighting Ben Askren, he kind of gets himself set up, right? Gets his feet in a position. He gets his hands where he wants them. But he's not doing it naturally. Like, it doesn't flow. It's not like it's like, boo, boo, do you know what I mean? He's not like ducking and diving and just constantly getting into great positions. It's like he's got to set himself. It's kind of like mentally is like, right, put my foot here, this here, this here. Do you know, it's kind of like when you're learning to drive. When you're learning to drive, you're like, right, okay, check the mirrors, put this into first, clutches down, put that into first, right, indicator, and round. You're not just driving, yeah? You're not just doing it. When you're learning to drive, you're like, I've got to do this, got to do that. And actually, in that Ben Askren fight, if you rewatch it, Askren catches Jake Paul at the start. He doesn't have the quickest of starts. What he does do is kind of get his feet sorted and then throw a beautiful, beautiful right hand, which puts Ben Askren down, of course. But I just worry that as he goes up against better opponents, you know, he needs to get more fluidity. He needs to just box. He needs to just be able to do it. Like, he's going to be put in many different situations. He's got to react and just like water, as Bruce Lee used to say, like water, go into, you know, the positions that he needs to be into. Because the problem will be that, you know, if he has a slow start, he could get caught again. And, you know, as he goes up against better opponents, they're going to be quicker than him as well. So, could that is ever improve him though? Could that be something that we see slightly different in this fight? Absolutely, because again, like learning to drive, once you learn, that's it. Once you've got the experience, well, you're off and running, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? But like when it comes to boxing, it's the same sort of thing. Once you get that fluidity, then he'll be even more dangerous. We'll see a better Jake Paul in this fight than we saw against Ben Askren. And I actually thought there was a couple of warning signs in the Ben Askren fight. The thing was, he found the knockout punch and the fight didn't go that long. I think if he'd have thrown that punch and it hadn't have put Ben Askren down, then I think Jake Paul could have got into a bit of trouble, to be honest. But it's clear that he does have some knockout power. I mean, he knocked out Ben Askren. And we can say that Ben Askren's got a weak chin and all this kind of stuff, but he still knocked out a former UFC fighter. He still knocked out a former MMA champion. So, oh man, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to go through. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. The press conference comes up in 1 hour and 9 minutes. And this is obviously their last pitch to try and sell the press conference, to sell the fight that's on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see what they say. Apparently Jake Paul's robot's going to be there as well. And I don't know if Floyd will be there. I know Floyd's been training Tyron Woodley a lot. So I don't know if Floyd will be there. Floyd, he might do. He might be in Tyron Woodley's corner. It's been very interesting how Masvidal has turned on Jake. Like, Masvidal had been working with Jake a lot. Certainly in the build to the Ben Askren fight. But he seems to have, like, he's picking Tyron Woodley now, Masvidal. And I'm wondering if Masvidal is doing this because he can see a payday as well. I'm wondering if Masvidal's looking at this thinking, I could definitely make some money here. Like, maybe I can be the next one after Woodley. Because the money, I should imagine, is amazing that they're being paid. And I'm wondering if Masvidal's playing this as a game because I could see Masvidal, Jake Paul. And Masvidal surely would be the favourite in that one. Surely would be the favourite in that one. Carnveer said, I just started watching The Walking Dead a couple of days ago. What season are you on? I'm on season 9. I would say the first 6 seasons are great, amazing. Season 7 then goes really slow. Because season 8 is kind of when they... So season 7 is all about a threat, and then season 8 is all about their response. So those 2 seasons are heavily it's 8 kind of brings you back up. And then I'm on season 9 now. Season 7 and 8 don't really go... it's hard to say without spoilers. Season 9 is better than Season 8, Season 7. Let's put it that way. Seasons 1 to 6 are brilliant, though. You just work your way through those and you just have a great time. It's a brilliant show. It's a brilliant show. Right, let's try and go... I want to try and answer as much as possible. Let's try and go down. Days, breaking news. Man City have suspended Mendy after a police charge. Oh, I haven't seen this news. That is breaking news. Anna, shout out to you. We do need to talk about the Champions League, so that's going to start in 7 minutes. So let's just quickly touch on the Champions League, because it will be starting and we will be following it. In pot 1, we've got Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Man City, Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, Inter Milan, Sporting Lisbon, and Lille. So let's try and pick the worst group that you could get. Okay, so I'm going to say out of all of those teams, I reckon Man City would probably be the team that you wouldn't want, right? I think Man City, a lot of people expect Man City to beat Chelsea to win the league. Bayern Munich are very good. Atletico Madrid are good. Inter, Villarreal, some great teams in there. But you wouldn't want Man City, I think. You wouldn't want Chelsea or Bayern Munich or Atletico, but Man City, I think, would be the standout for me there. So let's say Man City's the hardest there. Pot 2, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Man United, PSG, Liverpool, Sevilla, and Borussia Dortmund. Well, PSG. A lot of people expect PSG to win it this year. They've just got Messi. They've gone and signed Messi, so... Real Madrid, Barcelona, that is a horrible pot, isn't it? Pot 2 is horrific. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Man United, PSG, Liverpool, Sevilla, and Borussia Dortmund. So, horrible pot. So, let's say Man City get picked out of pot 1, and then PSG out of pot 2. Then in pot 3, you've got Porto, Ajax, RB Leipzig, Atalanta, Zenit St. Petersburg, Benfica, RB Salzburg, and Shakhtar Donetsk. Now, it's hard to know exactly how good all those teams are now. I know Atalanta actually have got a nice little side. Porto are always in there. Ajax are always tricky. Who would be the hardest there, I wonder? I'm leaning to Porto, or it could be RB Leipzig as well. I don't know about Zenit St. Petersburg. Benfica I haven't heard much about. RB Salzburg, I feel like Porto, Ajax, Leipzig, or Atalanta. I'll just go with Porto. I was torn between Porto or Atalanta. And then pot 4, AC Milan, Club Brugge, Wolfsburg, Young Boys, Malmo, Besiktas, Dynamo Kiev, and Sheriff Tiraspol. So, for me, AC Milan. Whoa! So, for me, the group of death would be Man City, PSG, Porto, and AC Milan. That'd be horrific. You could make a few changes there. You could take Porto out and put in RB Leipzig. I think AC Milan looked to me to be the worst team in that pot 4. You could have Chelsea, PSG, Porto, AC Milan. You could have Bayern, Real Madrid, Ajax, AC Milan. I feel like AC Milan definitely are the worst team in pot 4. You could have... Who could Man United get? Man United could get Bayern. So it could be Bayern, Man United, Porto, and AC Milan. Oh my God, that would be horrific. That would be horrific. This draw coming up, so we're going to find out all the groups for the Champions League. And we will do Champions League games. Whatever games are being shown on TV, we'll cover those. That will probably mean a lot of English teams, to be honest, because it's a lot of English teams that get shown over here. But because Champions League's on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, it's not a problem for us. Anna said Mendy is charged with... What? 4 counts of rape and 1 charge of sexual assault. I thought, honestly, when I read it, I thought that it was like a driving thing. Driving under the influence is what I thought. I don't know why I just presumed that. So, wow. We'll leave it. We'll leave it. Yeah, that's... I ain't got no words on that. We'll, police investigation. We'll see what happens. Tommy Fury has said that he'll focus on Jake once he destroys Anthony Taylor, and I really want to see Tommy KO Jake. Jake won't take that fight. Tommy Fury's a proper boxer. He won't take that fight. Leipzig are decent. They are decent. Fair play. Will Ronaldo go to City? Well, there's big rumours about it. I don't know. I don't think they will go for him. The only thing is, I think that the owners want him because he's, brilliant to have for shirt sales and just great from a marketing point of view. So I think the owners want him. But I think from a footballing point of view, you'll probably get a good year out of him, maybe 2. But we have to accept he's 36. We have to accept his already defined expectation. Like, the decline has to come. It has to come. Like, they're only looking for like 25 million for him now. And I think that, he is someone that is capable of moments of, magic. I know I think he won the Golden Boot at the Euros just gone, but a lot of that was penalties. Is he still a player you want? Yeah. Is he still going to bring a lot? Yeah. But is he going to play every week for City? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He's still... It's so hard. I think you'd get a great season out of him. Maybe two. But the amount he's going to cost in wages, would that mean that you can't get an amazing striker next summer? Like, I kind of think that... Because United, he wants out of Juventus. If United wanted him, they could get him. 25 million and then however much his wages are. I'm sure if United wanted him, they could go out and get him. But it's just, I don't know. It's difficult. It's really, really difficult at the moment because of his wages and the fact that he's going to cost so much. And he won't be around for long, so I'm going to say he doesn't go. Jake Paul is going to get crushed. WTF is he thinking, says JCS Foot Rub. How quick will this fight end? Well, I can't see what Tyron Woodley is predicting. We'll find that out. I'll try and find that. Well, he might even say. Right, we're going over to the Champions League draw first of all. We are building all the time towards... it's in Istanbul. Building all the time towards the Jake Paul thing. I'm quite happy to talk about that. I'm quite happy to talk about the football. We are keeping an eye on the Champions League draw first. Someone said England are 350 for 4, which is amazing. That is amazing. That's surely going to give them a 260-odd lead, 270 lead now. Which is really, I'll tell you what, they've added 50 runs since I last saw they were leading by 220. I think they were 220 for 3 last I saw. Carnvia said, I've managed to get to Walking Dead Season 4. Very good. Days, you need to keep an eye on the Champions League draw. I've got it on TV, but so as soon as they start getting... Rampage broke 1.4. Did it? Did it really do 1.4? I heard it did 1.1 overall and 1.3 for the thingy segment. If it did 1.4, that's good. Very good. Days, who would you want to see Jake face next? It's looking like it might be Tommy Fury. Listen, I would take that. I would take that because I really believe that Tommy Fury is someone that would beat Jake Paul. I wouldn't change my mind on this. Tommy Fury, I think, beats Jake Paul. Tommy Fury is a proper boxer that's been doing boxing his whole life. And I think Tommy Fury would beat Jake Paul. So I don't know that that's the right fight for Jake to take. I think there could be a lot of talk. I think there could be a lot of hype and potentially building it up. But when push comes to shove, will Jake Paul sign that contract? Tommy Fury wants it, of course he does. But would Jake Paul sign it? I don't know. If he does, fair play, because that'll be the first proper boxer that he will have faced. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think Masvidal's trying to position himself, to be honest. I think Masvidal's come out and said a lot of stuff about Jake Paul, and I think there's every chance that we see Masvidal against Jake Paul at some point. I don't know if it would be next, but I think there's every chance that we do see it. Fake Paul gets KO'd, says Ruben. Jake Paul versus Michon, says Meriden. Let's go down. Richard said, do you think this will be game over for WWE now Punk is in AEW? Nope. Absolutely not. I mean, I think that WWE is... What's been a big eye-opener for me is the fact that they had CM Punk and they did a 1.3. Now, people can say it was on a Friday night. People can say that it's on a small channel. People can say all of this stuff. But they're excuses, right? Make no mistake about it. They're all excuses. You can say they're reasons as well. But if we're saying that they did one of the biggest things that you can do, and that's bring back CM Punk, and they got a 1.3 rating from it, and Raw, which is everyone says is trash, yeah? Everyone lays into Raw, but it consistently does 1.8. Like, you have to look at that and say they are miles away. They are miles away. They need to change networks. If they change networks, which is a big if, then we might start to be able to have a conversation. But I think whilst they're on TNT, no. Whilst they're on the network they're on, I don't think they're going to be any bother for WWE. The thing is, though, can they build up momentum and then get snatched up by a bigger network? That would be when the conversation would change. But I think whilst they're on TNT and whilst they're doing what they're doing now, I don't see it. I don't see it. So, I mean, CM Punk's in, and his appeal will dip down. You know, a large part of CM Punk's appeal was the fact he'd been away for so long. So, you know, there's going to be a good month. Once we get past All Out, then the appeal of CM Punk will start to settle down. It'll still settle down in a nice place, but no, I don't see AEW troubling WWE anytime soon. But look, if we fast forward a couple of years, could we be having a different conversation? Might they be on a different network? Who knows? Who knows? But they are not a problem for WWE right now just because Punk's come in. Do you think you can go 4 hours? Do you think you can go at 4 hours? Mr. Meme said it wasn't 1-3, it was 1-1. I think it was 1-3 for CM Punk segment. And I think it was 1-1 overall. Days, if Jake wins and Tommy wins, then the fights will be on, apparently. Okay. Harley said, no, it did 1-1, not 1-4. I mean, just look at that number. A 1-1. I know, I've heard what Meltzer had to say. I've heard what everyone's had to say about how this was brilliant. But they don't focus on the total. They keep talking about the demo, 18-45, and how amazing those numbers were for a Friday night. And that's fine. I don't think the average wrestling fans really focused on the demo numbers, like the 18-45. The number that keeps coming out is, you know, Raw 1.8, SmackDown 2 million. It's the total viewers. That's the number that wrestling fans focus on, because that's the number that we keep getting told. So I think 1.1 was low. I'll stand by it. 1.1 overall, I think, was low. To bring back CM Punk and get a 1.1, I think that's low. 1.3 for his segment, I think is good. I think that's fine. I think that's more than acceptable. So I think actually, once the dust has settled, 1.3 for CM Punk, I think was fine. Still well below what I was expecting. But it is what it is. The reason it's below what I was expecting is we know that Dynamite has done 1.26, I think it was, something like that. So we know that they can get that number on that channel. Like, we know they can get that number on that channel. So the fact they've gone out and got CM Punk should surely mean they go well above that 1.2. Because you would imagine all the AEW fans would tune in. The whole internet wrestling community was tuning in. I think the truth of the matter is, though, the internet wrestling community is not as big as what we think. And I think the AEW fan base is pretty much maxing out each week anyway. And, the end result is that you get that 1.3 for CM Punk's return. So, I think any talk of them getting close to WWE right now should be put on the back burner, to be honest. I don't think that should be the focus. I think AEW needs to just continue to grow. It's no knock of AEW because this is their, second year? I mean, to get where they are after 2 years is incredible. To be able to bring back CM Punk is incredible. So they are doing incredible things. So it's no knock of AEW, but talk of them getting close to WWE. I think we need to put this into perspective. I think we're a long way off that. George, is it? Says, imagine if Barcelona, AC Milan, PSG, and United were all in the same group. Can't happen because Barcelona and Man United are in the same pot. AC Milan, PSG are in the same pot as well. So you can't get Barcelona, Man United, PSG. 'Cause thankfully, Man United are in the same. Man United are in the best pot possible. They're in with Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, PSG, Liverpool, Borussia Dortmund. Like, there's a few teams I'd rather have in there. I wish Man City was in there and Bayern was in there and whatever. But we've got Real, Barca, Juve, Man United, PSG, Liverpool, Sevilla, Borussia Dortmund, all in pot 2. So they can't be drawn against each other. But we've already looked at what we think a group of death could be, and it could be Chelsea, Real Madrid, or Chelsea, PSG, RB Leipzig, and AC Milan. That would be a hell of a group. Bayern, Real, Ajax, AC Milan. That would be a hell of a group. I feel like there will be a group of death. There normally is a group of death, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know when they're doing the actual draw. I'm still waiting. At the moment, we've just got them talking about what happened with Ericsson, and looking back at that moment, there's an interview about it. You tend to get these with these kind of draws. They don't just go straight to it. They do like presentations and talks and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we've got a little chat at the moment about Denmark. We're still 40-odd minutes away from the press conference, so we're still making our way towards that. So, yeah, we are sneaking towards it. Edward said, Days, PSG are favourites to win the UEFA Champions League. Yes. I mean, I've got them as my favourites as well, yeah. I mean, what with the team they've put together, I hope, if there is a group of death, I hope they're in it. And I hope that they get eliminated, but I can't see it. But I would love PSG to go out in the first round. Harley said, I was predicting 1-3 to 1-5 and Dynamite 1-5 to 1-8. But now Rampage numbers are out. I don't have any idea for Dynamite. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to pick. I mean, I kind of think that it's not exceeding expectations. Again, you know, I've heard the Dave Meltzer clip where he says that AEW are probably doing cartwheels because of the demo rating. But I think public perception's important, and I think 1.1 I don't think blew anyone's mind. So, but the demo rating, the 18 to 45 numbers, I'm sure were very impressive, but those aren't numbers that we focus on. So, I don't know, we'll see. He's a great addition. He's definitely going to help. He's definitely boosting their business overall, and we'll see, you know, where they get to. Richard K said, with WWE back touring and having fans back, do you think they'll stick with the 2-night WrestleMania or go back to 1 night? I think next year is scheduled for 1 night, but I hope they change it. I think it's scheduled for 1 night. Let's look. WrestleMania 38. April 3rd. Yeah. So at the moment, it's 1 night. So April 3rd. I personally... Well, I would... to be perfectly honest, I prefer 1 night WrestleMania. Yeah. I do prefer a 1 night WrestleMania. But, and this is a massive, massive but it needs to be... quality. Forget the filler. There's too much filler that's involved. So forget the filler. I don't need like Elias versus Baron Corbin. Like, it feels like they put matches on just to get people on the show. It should be 10 massive matches. So your championship matches, maybe the odd grudge match, but big grudge match. You know, like Edge versus Seth was not for a title. Like, do your title matches, do big grudge matches with big names, and make it just stacked. The problem I've got with WrestleMania 35, there was a lot of filler. There was a lot of stuff on there that I was like, I'm just not bothered about this. I'm just not bothered by this match. Like, there was too much stuff on there that was just in the way. And then, like, because it was 1 night, it ran for like 5.5 hours. So I think if you're going to do that and you're going to stick with that, do 2 nights. Do 2 nights. 2 nights is better than 1 5.5 hour night. I don't want that. I just want a 3-hour stacked card. I just want a quality WrestleMania. But they just keep trying to shove too many people on. And the end result is it's now got to 5.5 hours. And now they're doing it as 2 days. So, yeah. If they're gonna go that way, do it as 2 days. But ideally, I would make it shorter, and I would drop some of the waffle, get rid of some of the matches that we just really, really don't need. There's things that they could definitely do on SmackDown and Raw, either side of WrestleMania. Days, it is scheduled for one night, but good news is earlier this year, there were reports saying wrestlers have been asking for 2 nights because fans won't get tired, and it is being considered. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be one night and it's going to be 5.5 hours, fans will get tired. Fans will get tired. It's not. I don't think that's the right way forward at all. Just to give you an update, right now they're giving out awards to the Danish medical team and the first responders and all people like this, so they deserve it. Absolutely fair play. But yeah, I mean, we're just waiting for the draw here. But fair play. Fair play. I'm not going to moan about this. Do you know what I mean? What they did was amazing. And they deserve to be recognised for it, so. But it is delaying the draw. Do you think KSI Jake Paul will happen? No. I watched Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley pre-workout. Woodley is looking mean. Jake looked nervous. Interesting. If the first dance was Dynamite and not Rampage, then it could have done 1-4, 1-5, says Daniel. Amin said, Days, are you excited for Brock Becky at SmackDown? Absolutely, yes. Rob said, why do you think WWE are sending all returning and biggest superstars to SmackDown? The roster on Raw needs an injection of big names. Well, I think that Fox is a lot more involved than USA are. I think Fox, because they've spent so much money on WWE, are probably making demands. Like, they want Brock, they want Becky. I think Becky was always going to go where Seth was anyway. But don't forget, Raw has actually got some star power that just maybe doesn't feel like it's there. Like, Raw has got Randy Orton, and in fairness, they're using him well at the moment. But because the story is more focused on Riddle, like maybe it doesn't feel like Randy Orton, like it's RK Bro, but that is Randy Orton. They've got AJ Styles, but AJ Styles again is in a tag team with Moss, so you kind of look at that and go, they've got Drew, who they've built up Drew. Drew's not a bad star to have. They've got Charlotte. Charlotte's decent name. I mean, again, to the casuals, she's the most decorated female champion that they've got. I kind of feel like they do have some star power. They got Asuka, of course, around. You could actually make the argument that the star power on SmackDown wasn't that strong. They had Roman, they had Seth, but they needed to add like Edge over to SmackDown. Brock's come back, but he's only going to work part-time. I mean, Brock's not going to be on SmackDown every week, so I wouldn't worry about Brock too much. Becky's back. Becky's a big return to come back. But she was always going to go where Seth was going to go. So, I don't know. You can definitely make the argument that SmackDown's got a lot of bigger names if you were to, like, go down 2 lists and tick who you think are, like, big main event talents. You might find that SmackDown does have a bit more. But I bet it's not that bad, I bet it's not as bad as what people think. I think it's just because people have come back and they all seem to go to SmackDown. But I bet it's not too bad. I bet there's probably more people on Raw than what you think when it comes to main event talent. But yeah, I mean, there's rumours of a draft in October, so we should be working our way towards that. I hope Tommy Fury comes on stage, says Amari. SmackDown is the show now, says Soundwave. That's true as well. I think SmackDown is seen as the A show. I think the money that Fox has spent on it means that, I don't want to say they prioritise it, 'cause they have to show USA that they're treating Raw fairly as well. So I'm not going to say that they're prioritising SmackDown, but I think they are trying to give SmackDown as much as possible. And if SmackDown does have a little bit more than Raw, WWE, I don't think are worried about that. Fox are going to be loving it. The only problem is is USA going to be in their ear? And if they can keep USA Network sweet, then fine. Jake smokes cigars. He's going to lose, says Kate Kush official. Why did Miz turn on Morrison? It's probably time, to be honest. It was probably time. I wasn't the biggest fan of that group, those two. They didn't really do it for me. Is this the second press conference? It is the second press conference, yes. So we are building towards that. That's going to be in about 40 minutes' time. It's going to be very interesting to see what they've got to say. But before we get to that, we will have the Champions League draw. We've just had a big 15 minutes on Denmark, and we are still waiting for the draw to take place. I've always been a SmackDown fan because of The Undertaker, says Soundwave. The main event last night went really fast. It did. RK Bro, shout out to you. WWE should have SmackDown win at Survivor Series. Raw is trash, says Harley. Bayley would have been a breath of fresh air for Raw, but unfortunately she's injured. That's true. I mean, maybe it could be... Seth and Becky might have gone to Raw if Bayley was still around. Who knows? Bayley being injured means that SmackDown has actually lost a big name for the rest of the year. I missed the Sanity Nikki Cross, says Soundwave. Red X says Woodley is going to knock out Jake Colt. I can't wait for Sunday. I think it's close. I think it's very tricky to say which way it's going to go. But as we said, Tyson's going for Jake Paul. They're just bringing out some Chelsea players. I'm guessing because Chelsea won the Champions League, they're bringing out some Chelsea, couple of Chelsea players, or ex-Chelsea players as well. But yeah, we've got the Champions League draw coming up. We've got the press conference coming up between Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. We know that Teddy Atlas has gone with Jake Paul. We know that Mike Tyson has gone with Jake Paul. I must admit, I started off with Woodley, and now I'm leaning to Jake Paul as well. Paul is going to win, says Shaquem. England are now 3-6-2 for 5. Oh, starting to wobble, aren't they? Starting to wobble now, England. I think they managed to do really well this morning, only losing a couple. And now they've lost 3 wickets in relatively quick succession. Past hour, is it? They've lost 3 wickets. So, I don't know. I could see that collapse starting to come now. But in all fairness, England have got a lead of about 300. If they can smash out another 50-odd, I think you got to say England are looking good for the win. Soundwave said, I would like Undertaker to have one more match in front of the fans. Edward said it won't happen. Jake knows KSI would annihilate him. No. KSI, to my knowledge, isn't training in boxing anymore. Hasn't had the experiences that Jake Paul has had. You know, KSI hasn't faced people like Ben Askren. Isn't sparring with, people like Masvidal or whoever. I mean, Jake Paul is bringing in proper boxers to spar with him and work with him. He's living it, whereas I don't think KSI is. KSI at the moment is doing a lot with his music career. KSI is better off just staying away. I mean, I think even KSI now is having to admit that Jake Paul is is really good. KSI, I think, has been picking a lot of Jake's opponents in previous fights, but in this one, I think I heard that he had actually picked Jake Paul to win. So I don't think KSI. I think KSI is starting to come around to the fact Jake Paul's the real deal now. Well, I say the real deal. KSI has been training, yeah, but not to the level of Jake Paul. Jake Paul was living this. This is, everything that Jake Paul's doing is this, whereas KSI's got his music career and has got other distractions. So, no, I will quite happily tell you that I would have no doubts whatsoever that Jake Paul would knock out, destroy KSI. KSI is doing bits. If KSI gets back to full training, KSI would win. Well, we'll have to agree to disagree. I think the experiences and the knowledge that Jake's building up, I think he's too far ahead of KSI at this stage. Richard K said Brock versus Roman at Extreme Rules with Paul Heyman as a special guest, and Heyman has to make a choice and choose sides would be great booking. I don't think Heyman being a special guest referee would be wise, to be honest, because I think we all know he's going to screw someone over. He's going to pick a side. He's too heavily invested in both sides. If I was Roman or if I was Brock, I wouldn't want Heyman as a referee. I think from a logical point of view, you know, I think that Heyman should be unsure as to whose side is taken. So having him as a special guest referee, I'm not sure. But having him at ringside with Roman and, like, you can see he doesn't know what to do. I agree with you on that. Right, I feel like we're getting close here. It's took absolutely flipping forever, but I feel like we are getting close to the Champions League draw finally. Moldy Spoon said KSI wouldn't beat Jake Paul. Jake is now ahead of him. Jake has got more in-ring experience and is a bit more technical. KSI wants to fight Austin McBroom first, then he'll fight Jake. KSI said he'll fight Jake Paul next year. It would be a massive fight, though. Yeah, it'd be a big fight, definitely. Cristiano Ronaldo will go to Man City, says Amory. Days, I'm watching the Champions League draw. So am I, Legend Killer. Shout out to you, bud. Hope you are well. Right. Oh my God, they're doing awards! I thought we were going to the draw. Now they're doing goalkeeper of the season. So Mendy for Chelsea is in the running for goalkeeper of the season. Oh my God. Surely Donnarumma. Or is that it? Has he won? No. Oh, maybe he has. Now we're looking at a woman, Panos. Don't know who she is. Panos for Barcelona by the looks of it. So did Barcelona women must have won the Champions League last year. Well, there we go. Mendy has won goalkeeper of the season, and Panos has won it for the ladies. The only way KSI would win is if he had a few fights before. If not, he'll get smashed. Have you seen the training KSI does when he's fighting Logan? I've never seen anyone train like that. KSI is a beast in training. I did because I covered the fight, and I don't know what you want me to say. There, in my mind, there is no way. It's not even close. Like, there's no way he beats Jake Paul. If he has a few fights, takes it super serious, dedicates himself to it, spars, works hard, gets, as you said, a few fights, gets some good wins, gets some momentum, all that, fine. But if he's just gonna train and hope to step in and beat Jake Paul, I don't see it. I really don't see it. Training is not enough. He needs more fight experience, says Moldy Spoon. Derek said, do you think the Brock thing is a swerve and him and Roman are cohorts? Brock is going to be on Raw. He attacked Cena. He didn't touch Roman. I think he attacked Cena for the fans. So the fact we didn't get shown it says to me that was not something that we were meant to see. That, that to me is just a little, Cena's down in the corner. Brock could go over and put his arm over him and go, are you all right, mate? But that's not really a Brock thing to do, is it? So he just grabs him, takes him to Suplex City for the fans there. So I don't think that's really got anything to do with anything. I just think that was something for those in attendance. But I think we are building towards a match between the two. Could there be a swerve and it turns out that they're in the same group? Sure. Yeah. Sure. They could. But I don't think we're going to go that way, to be honest. I don't think we're going to go that way. Would be good, though, if it turns out that it's a swerve and then Brock goes over to Raw and he's a Paul Heyman guy, and Paul Heyman's got Roman on SmackDown and Brock on Raw. I'd be down with that. I got no issue with that. And the fact he didn't touch Roman, absolutely. But I don't think they're going to go that way. I don't think they're going that way. Right, are we getting this draw now? We are delighted to be here in Istanbul. And I've done it since I was 9, says Edward. Shut up! Come with it, UEFA. Yes. Come on, man. What are you on about? Shut up. No. Yeah. Okay, he said, I just want to wish everyone the best of luck. The final is in St. Petersburg. No, let's not look at the technical. The champions. 32 teams are in 4 pots. Yeah. So, Chelsea. So, it's the Champions League winners, the UEFA winner, and the league winners are all in pot 1. So, A to D on a Tuesday? Yeah. Play on a different one. Okay. So, groups A to D play on one group. Russia and Ukraine won't be drawn in the same group. God, there's a lot of rules, isn't there? There's a lot of rules. Richard, shout out to you, buds. Richard said, my prediction for Crown Jewel main event, Lashley versus Karrion Kross for the championship. Brock versus Cena versus Roman in a triple threat. I don't know if Cena's around, to be perfectly honest, but maybe, yeah. And also, I'm not sure if Cena will go, because it's in Saudi Arabia. And I think Cena's refused to go before. I think Roman's refused to go before. So, it could be quite interesting as to what we end up getting. But yeah, I mean, could I see those matches? Not really, to be honest. Not really, because of the fact that Cena and Roman have refused to go in the past. But if it wasn't for that, then sure, yeah. If Cena's sticking around, I think they'd love to do Lesnar, Cena, Roman. I think they'd love it. That's just a massive, massive, massive match, isn't it? Absolutely huge. But I don't think Cena's around, and I don't think he'll go. UEFA are testing my patience. They're testing all of our patience. They really are. When is Crown Jewel? That's a good question. Crown Jewel. October 21st. Roman did go to the last Saudi Arabia event. Okay. Well, maybe my guess is then if Roman is going to be there, then it'll be Brock Roman. Let's turn it down. It'll be Brock Roman at Saudi, and maybe Lashley Cross by October. Maybe. Might be a bit early for Carrion. But he doesn't have to win, does he? There are 2 NWA pay-per-views this weekend. Ric Flair will show up to one of them, says Gregor John. Edward said Cena won't be at Crown Jewel. His last show is September 10th at Madison Square Garden. Do you like WWE or UFC? I like both. Are they reviewing each team now? I hope not. What are they doing? What are they doing? Crown Jewel can make Seth versus Reigns if Roman can retain against Brock, says Black Dino. Did you see the off-air promo after Dynamite? CM Punk, Christian Cage, and Frankie Kazarian? No, I didn't. Was it good? The mic is cutting in and out. Is it really? Is it? Keeps cutting in and out. I do need to have a look at changing this now. Okay, finally. Here we go. I mean, I feel like I should put it down in text at the bottom, but the problem is that... let's try. I'm not going to be able to do this in the Jake Paul thing, am I? They're going to clash. Ugh. Man City drawn. Right, Man City are drawn. I would write them down, but I'm no way I'm going to be able to do that in the press conference. Atletico Madrid. So, Man City are in Group A. Atletico Madrid are in Group B. Who's going to go into Group C? So, not that exciting at the moment. They're just deciding what groups people are going into. C is... Sporting. So, Sporting Lisbon go into Group C. Group D, Inter Milan. So once we get this out of the way and we go to the next pot, that's when things will get interesting. That's when we'll start to see what is the potentially group of death. So Man City in Group A, Atletico Group B, Sporting Group C, Inter Group D, Group E is headed by Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. Don't forget 2 teams out of each group progress. What is your dream match for this generation? I don't know. I don't know that I have one, to be honest. Probably Volta versus Roman. Those are my 2 favourites. Villarreal goes into Group F. Villarreal. Not trying to be an idiot, but do they do draws for every tournament? What determines the draw position overall? They do draws for every tournament, yeah. And what determines the draw position? I'm not sure what you mean by that. All the champions of each country goes into pot 1, as do the previous winners. So what we're looking at right now is all the... So Group G, Lille. So yeah, all the winners of the countries go into this first pot. And then I think it's done by ranking. I think by seeds. Chelsea. So they go into Group H. So, Man City in A, Atletico Madrid in B, Sporting Lisbon in C, Inter Milan in D, Bayern Munich in E, Villarreal in F, Lille in G, Chelsea in H. How quick will the pool fight end, says AAA. I think it'll go round 3, round 4. Round 3, round 4. I expect there to be a finish. I expect a finish. Days LA night equals Los Angeles night. Yes. My dream match is Adam Cole versus Hangman Page. Volta is the man, says Gregor John. Now it's time for the Defender Award. Oh my god. They are taking the absolute mick. Paredes. I don't know who she is. Paredes. So, Ruben Diaz for Man City and Paredes for PSG, I think. Ivanic sounds like the Terminator announcing these teams. Who has the best booty? I'm not going there. Okay, I think I understand. Where is Derek? Yeah, I think they tend to put like the champions in the first part, and then like they seed the rest. So, or you've got like the best teams then in pot 2, then the next level is pot 3, and then the final teams in pot 4. So the weaker teams are in pot 4. Although, you know, AC Milan are down there. They're, you know, you wouldn't say they were that weak. They're a big name, but they're not quite the club they were. It's just great to see Man United in this thing. It's been a rough few years for United. I never want to take a chop from Volta. I'm only £135, soaking wet. Just like WWE, this has got a big fight feel. This is annoying. It is annoying. UEFA are taking the PP. I think they tend to do this though. UEFA tend to do this. They tend to milk. Wow, look. We're done with that. Well done. Now let's go to this next round is going to be really important, really tasty. We're going to start drawing the next pot and putting them with the first lot. Yes! Pot 2. Real Madrid. Barcelona. Juve. Manchester United. PSG. Who are PSG going to get? Who are Man United going to get? I want Man United to get Lille. I want Man United to get Lille because Lille beat PSG to the title and they're not as strong as they were. I think they've lost a few players actually. So I'll take Lille or I'll take Sporting Lisbon. Man United in Group C or G, please. I don't mind Inter. Inter wouldn't be that bad because they've lost Lukaku. So I think if you get Inter, it's not the end of the world. So important United get out of this group stage. So important. Need a good draw. We need a good draw. Come on. 8 more teams are ready. Here we go. England 382 for 6. Root out with 121. What a summer he is having. What a summer he is having. So England 310. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is exciting. This is really exciting. PSG. 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 Dortmund. 4 options. So they're not. They can go in A, B, C, or D. Okay, so we're going to find out what group they're going in. I'll just pick it. So Dortmund can go in A, B, C, or D, and they are going in C. Oh, that's an easy group. Sporting Lisbon and Dortmund. Sporting Lisbon and Dortmund have been drawn in the same group. City will get Lille. They can't. They're in different groups already. Right. Real Madrid. Real Madrid can go into 5 different groups, so we're going to find out what group they're going in. Okay, so let's find out what group Real Madrid are going to go in. So Real Madrid going to go into group. Oh God, it's slow. It's so slow. D. So Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Inter Milan and Real Madrid. That's quite tasty. That's tasty. Real Madrid, Inter Milan. That's quite tasty. You got to check out this meme I found a couple of days ago. I've tagged it on Twitter. Little busy right now. Who's next? Liverpool. Liverpool have been drawn. Liverpool have been drawn. They can go into B, E, F, G, H. Atletico, Bayern, Villarreal, Lille, or Chelsea. Here we go. Where's Liverpool going? Where's Liverpool going? Where's Liverpool going? E. Let's get rid of Bayern. B. Atletico. Tricky. Atletico. So they've gone in with Atletico Madrid. Atletico. Yeah, where's I want PSG to go with Bayern. I want PSG with Bayern. Or Chelsea. Put them with Chelsea. PSG. Here they are. Put them with Chelsea. E or H. E or H. E or H. Put them with Bayern or Chelsea. Come on. Bayern or Chelsea. PSG with Bayern or Chelsea. E or H. Please be E or H. In A. They've gone in with Man City. I didn't even notice Man City. Man City and PSG in the same group. Oh my God, that is amazing. They've gone in with Man City. Juventus has been drawn. Man City and PSG. Atletico Madrid and Liverpool. Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Oh my God. Oh, I'm just dribbling. Oh. Man City, PSG. Wow. PSG and Man City. That is amazing. Okay, so Group H has just gained Juventus. So Chelsea has drawn Juventus. 10 minutes till the Jake Paul press conference. We will have that on. Oh my God, Man City and PSG. I hope they get 2 tough teams. Barcelona. Guys, is Man United in there, or are they having a nap? Barcelona, E. Going E. E. Please be E. Please be E. Please be E. Because then that would put them with Bayern. Come on. That means Man United would have Lille or Villarreal. Yes! Yes! This is a good draw for United. Bayern and Barcelona? That means that Man United have got either Villarreal, who we should have beaten in the final last time, or Lille. I would have took either of them. Sevilla. So it looks like United are the last team drawn. We've avoided big teams. It's going to be Villarreal or Lille. Villarreal we should have beaten last year. And we lost to them on penalties, so I'd feel quite confident against them now. And Lille, out of all the teams we could have got. Right, Man United are drawn. So, Man United are drawn with Villarreal. So, Villarreal and Man United will play each other again. We know them very well. Oh, Man City, PSG. Oh, Atletico Madrid and Liverpool. Sporting Lisbon and Dortmund. Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Villarreal and Man United. Chelsea and Juventus, and it is Lille and Sevilla. Oh, it's brilliant. It's great. It's going really well. Man United have got Villarreal. Brilliant. I'm really pleased with that. Barcelona, Bayern Munich. Oh. Real Madrid, Inter Milan. Man City, PSG. Manchester City versus PSG. We'll see them play PSG twice, once at home, once away. Oh my God. Those are going to be incredible games, aren't they? Man City, PSG. Of course, City get the hardest team. Shola said Man United will still bottle it. Nah, we're fine. I take that all day long. All day long. Where's a WWE video? I don't know what you mean. English teams can't be in the same group. Messi versus Ronaldo. Well, we don't know that he's going to Man City. N'Golo Conte has won the midfielder for last year, and Putellas has won for Barcelona for the women. Oh, this is good. 7 minutes till Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. 7 minutes. Chelsea and Juventus, that won't be easy. Didn't Atletico knock Liverpool out last year? I can't remember, I think they could have. Definitely they faced each other before. A few times, I believe. Messi versus Ronaldo, Juve and Chelsea. Yes. Banana Grapes, shout out to you. I hope Man City knock out PSG. I really do. I'm not celebrating PSG getting drawn with Man City because I'm happy Man City are going out. I'm hoping PSG go out. I feel all right for the British teams. Chelsea are getting Juve. I don't think that's the worst in the world. Liverpool, Atletico Madrid. I think that's all right. Man United are laughing with Villarreal. And, yeah, Man City, PSG. That's definitely the most difficult. But, I'm really pleased. We're going to the next part of the draw. Next part of the draw, this is the third pot. This is Porto, Ajax, RB Leipzig, Atalanta, Zenit St. Petersburg, Benfica, Salzburg, Shakhtar Donetsk. I mean, the problem with Shakhtar is that that's over, like, Russia, I think, so you don't want to be going over there. That's quite a journey. You don't want that. So you kind of want something like... you don't want Zenit St. Petersburg. So you don't want Zenit, really. You don't want Shakhtar. You don't want Porto. You don't want Ajax. You don't want Leipzig. Atalanta could be tricky in Italy. I don't know who you want in this group. There's a few. There's either the teams are quite good or they're quite far away. And you don't really want any of them. You got to play someone, though, so... I'd probably take Salzburg, Benfica. They got a great name though, haven't they? Benfica. But then it's hard. Ajax, maybe. Oh, that's hard. No, decent. Oh, let's just see how it goes. Right, Shakhtar's been drawn. They can go in any group. They can go in all the groups. Let's put them in Group A, then. If they could go in all the groups, put them in Group A. Some tough teams in Pot 3. There are. Porto, tricky. Ajax, tricky. Leipzig, tricky. Atalanta, better team than what you think, you know. Got quite a few players from the Euros at Atalanta. Then you got Zenit St. Petersburg, which might as well be on the moon. It's flipping miles away. Then you've got Shakhtar Donetsk. I mean, if we get Shakhtar, fine. I think it's a pretty easy team, but just got to travel quite a bit, which is the problem. It's gone into Group D, Shakhtar, so it's Inter, Real Madrid, and Shakhtar. I think that's pretty... I wouldn't have minded Shakhtar, to be honest. I don't want Porto. I really don't want Porto. Porto would be a problem. Leipzig would be a problem as well. Porto, Leipzig. There's some problems here. There's definitely some problems. Benfica, I'll have them. I'll have them. Group F, I'll have Benfica. Looking at who else there is, I'll take Benfica. F. Come on. Come on. Give me Benfica, I'll take them. I don't want Leipzig. I don't want Porto. Ajax can be a bit tricky. Come on. I'll have Benfica. Group F, please. Group F. If not, I'm holding out for a Zenit St. Petersburg. I'll take the travelling. Okay, here we go. Benfica. Yeah. F. 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 E. Ah. It's the group of Bs. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and Benfica. Is there a B? Besiktas. I hope Besiktas go in Group E. Then it would be Bayern, Barca, Benfica, and Besiktas. It'd be all Bs. Bayern, Barca, Benfica. That's what we've got in Group E. Inter, Real, and Shakhtar. That's what we've got in D. 2 minutes to Jake Paul. Zenit St. Petersburg. I'll take them. I'll take them. Group F, please. Group F, please. Yes, I'll have them. Yeah, you've got to travel a bit, but it should be a relatively simple game when you get there. So I'll take St. Petersburg, please. Pop that into Group F. Lovely. Come on. Zenit. I'll have it. Hello, Lumian. Shout out to you. Yeah, F, F, F. Definitely F. Definitely F. We need this one. I don't want Porto. I don't want Porto. I don't want Leipzig. F. You better be an F. You better be an F. Better be... Ah, it's a H. Chelsea, Juventus, and Zenit St. Petersburg. Oh, don't ruin it now. Don't give us like a Porto or a Leipzig. Oh, not happy. The 3 teams that I wanted have all gone. I'll take I'll take Salzburg. Leipzig, I don't want them. I don't want Leipzig. They're tricky. Tricky little German team, RB Leipzig. No. I don't want them. I definitely don't want them. 30 odd seconds. We're going over to the Jake Paul thing. I am keeping an eye on this. No. Not F. Not F now. A. Whew! Oh! Man City, PSG, and RB Leipzig. What a group! What a group. Put AC Milan in that, and that's my dream group. If you put AC Milan in that group, that is my dream group. That is amazing. That is the group of death. Man City, PSG, RB Leipzig. That is the group of death. That is the group of death. Atalanta. Would I take them? They're a bit tricky. RB Leipzig are in with PSG and Man City. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm excited. Right, we've got the Jake Paul thing starting. I'm keeping an eye on it. It's not out yet. So we're just at the intro stage. Oh my God, that was amazing. Atalanta have gone in with United. Atalanta have gone in with United and Villarreal. It's not an easy group, this now. That Atalanta game could be quite tricky, you know. That could be quite tricky. I still fancy United. I think United will get through. But it's stopped. I'm not doing cartwheels anymore. Yeah. That could have been easier. Atalanta are a tricky little team. They're a tricky little team. You see, the problem is that Villarreal are a team that could get a result. We could get a draw against them. Atalanta, we could get a draw against them. We could beat both of them. We could lose both of them. Like, they're not easy games, these. But they're not the hardest games either. Right. So, Salzburg have gone in with Lille and Sevilla. This is quite an easy little group, actually. Lille, Sevilla, and Salzburg. I think we've got 2 more teams to draw. So, still waiting for Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. Porto. I think, can they only go in B? Yeah, so it's Liverpool, Porto, and Atletico Madrid. That's a tricky little group. Porto's a tricky little team. You know, Liverpool should be able to get through this. Ajax go in with Dortmund and Sporting Lisbon. I think United have got to take this, you know. I really do. I think United have got to take this. So it's, let's go through the groups. Man City, PSG, and RB Leipzig. So that's Group A. Hard. Then it's Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, and Porto. Tricky. Then it's Sporting Lisbon, Dortmund, and Ajax. Then you've got Inter Milan, Real Madrid, and Shakhtar Donetsk. At the moment, Inter and Real, I think, will be feeling quite happy with that. Then you've got Bayern, Barca, and Benfica. Then you've got Villarreal, Man United, and Atalanta. I feel all right with it. It could be worse. Could be way worse. It could be a bit easier as well. But then we've got Lille, Sevilla, and Salzburg. And then finally we've got Chelsea, Juve, and Zenit St. Petersburg. So if you are a fan of English teams... by the way, the forward award has gone to Erling Haaland, and it has gone to Hermoso for Barcelona. The winners for the men were Mendy, Ruben Diaz, Kante, and Haaland. And I can't remember the winners for the women's. There was a lot of Barcelona and PSG players. Anyway, cut a long story short, Man City, PSG, and RB Leipzig, that is tough. That is tough. I hope they get AC Milan. Oh my God, please get AC Milan. Please get AC Milan. Put AC Milan in Group A. Put AC Milan in Group A, please. Atletico, Liverpool, Porto, that's tricky. Sporting Lisbon, Dortmund, Ajax. Inter, Real Madrid, Shakhtar. Bayern, Barca, Benfica. Villarreal, Man United, Atalanta. Lille, Sevilla, and Salzburg. Chelsea, Juventus, and Zenit. So, Man City group, hard. Liverpool group, tricky. Man United group, okay. Chelsea group, okay. Chelsea's group's okay. Chelsea should beat Juventus, and they should easily beat Zenit. So, I think Man United, Chelsea will be happy. I think Man City will be crying right now. And I think Liverpool will be sad. Atletico and Porto. Should be much easier than that. But let's see where AC Milan goes. Besiktas. So we got AC, we got Club Brugge, we got Wolfsburg, we got Young Boys, we got Malmo, we got Besiktas, we got Dynamo Kiev, and we got Sheriff Tiraspol. I don't know, man. There's not really any teams here that are bothering me apart from AC Milan. Like AC Milan, I don't want them. If Man United get AC Milan, that group that started off really well has become quite tricky. I don't want AC Milan. Wolfsburg as well. You wouldn't really want. I'll take some young boys. I'll take some young boys or Malmo or Sheriff Tiraspol. We're not sad. We're happy. We're not happy, but not sad. I'm crying right now, says Harley. BBC boys in the house. Yeah, if you are joining us for the Jake Paul thing, it's not happening at the moment. We've just got a couple of presenters just chatting away. So Jake Paul's not. As soon as he comes out, my attention will go there. Thankfully, this is the final lot of the draw. Add it to Twitter. Add what to Twitter, bud? Liverpool smoke Porto every day of the week. This tournament has been heaven for days. It's been all right. Yeah, it's been all right. It could be a touch easier. If we get AC Milan now, I'll be in tears. Young boys, I'll have them. Switzerland, we'll take them. Group F, please. Young boys, come on. Give us some young boys. Young boys, young boys, young boys, young boys. Young boys, there's no need to feel down. Here we go, come on. Chuck them in Group F. We'll have them. Quite fancy playing some young boys. Right, young boys are going to go in Group F. F, 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 F. Come on, Group F. Come on. Come on. You didn't help me out last time. Group F. Group F. Group F. Yeah! Come on! Yes! Man United are playing some young boys. Young boys. There's no need to feel down. Yes. Young boys. Group F. Group F. Man United's group. Villarreal. Atalanta. And young boys. Come on. That was good. It's a good group for Man United. Besiktas. Let's put them in with Group E with all the other Bs. Let's get Bayern, Barca, Benfica, and Besiktas. Group E for that would be nice. I want a group of Bs. Chuck it in there, please. I'm not bothered. I'm quite happy we got young boys. Come on. Come on. That's a good result, man. This is a good draw. Good draw for United. I want AC Milan to go into Group A. Don't be Group A. I want them to have AC Milan. Besiktas, I suppose, isn't really easy. If that goes Group A, it's not the end of the world. But I'd rather it go Group E. Group E! Group C. Oh. I think that was our only B team in this pot. So I don't think Group E can be all Bs now. Oh. So, Sporting Lisbon, Dortmund, Ajax, and Besiktas. That is Group C. Villarreal, Man United, Atalanta, and Young Boys. That is Group F. They've done well, United. You'd take that. If someone offered me that, I'd be like, yeah. AC Milan. AC Milan. AC Milan. AC Milan. Right. Group A. It's got to be Group A. It's got to be Group A. Group A. Group of death. Group A. Come on, please. Just finish the job. You've done so well. AC Milan. Group A. Group A. Group A. Oh, Group B. Wow, that's tricky for Liverpool. Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Porto, and AC Milan. That's tricky. That is a hard group. There's no easy game there. It's not like Man United going off to Young Boys. Liverpool have got a difficult group. Atletico Madrid, Porto, and AC Milan. Wolfsburg, put them in Group A. I don't think they can go in Group A, though, can they? Aww. The Group of Death's been ruined. They can only go into Group G or H, apparently. You can't go into the same group as, like, a team from your country. So, Wolfsburg going into G or H. If it goes into H with Chelsea, that'll be a little tricky. Wolfsburg's not an easy team. Gone into G, though. Wolfsburg, Lille, Sevilla, Salzburg, and Wolfsburg. That group's hard to know who's going to progress from that group, actually. I don't know who's coming out of that group. Wolfsburg could definitely get out of that group. Oh, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Porto, and AC Milan. Club Bruges. Bruges. Who do I want to go in Group A now? Bruges, I suppose, isn't the worst. Or Dynamo Kiev. Bruges or Kiev. Dynamo Kiev. That's a horrible group, though. Man City, PSG, RB Leipzig. Club Bruges. Yeah. Pop them. Yeah, I'll take them in A. Pop them in A. Pop them in A. It's A. Club Bruges. Oh, God, I bet he's in tears. Man City, PSG, and Leipzig. Club Bruges guy now. The Club Bruges guy sat there like, hello, darkness, my old friend. You wouldn't want to go into that group. Malmo. Quite an easy little team, Malmo. Quite an easy little team. Whoever gets Malmo, I think, will be feeling quite comfortable. D or H for Malmo. Still no Jake Paul, by the way. Still just watching two people. Rabbit in a way. Right, we're just gonna, which is great for us because we can find out where they're going, how these groups are gonna look. Right, here we go. We've got Malmo going into H with Chelsea. So, Chelsea will be pleased. Chelsea have got Juventus. That's winnable. Zenit, easy. And Malmo, easy. Chelsea, great group. Great group for Chelsea. Great group for United. Chelsea's probably Chelsea's got a bit easier, but Juve's not easy. Dynamo Kiev. Dynamo Kiev, put them in E. That'll be tricky. Dynamo Kiev, Bayern, Barca, and Benfica. That'd be tricky. Oh, that is the only option. They've got to go in there. Dynamo Kiev goes in with Bayern, Barca, and Benfica. That's tricky. That's a tricky group. That's a tricky group. I do fancy Bayern and Barca to go through, though. And Sheriff Tiraspol. Right. The draw is done. The draw is complete. What we'll do is we'll go through the teams. So, the draw is complete. So, Group A, Man City, PSG, RB Leipzig, and Club Bruges. Now, I just want to see, Club Bruges, where did they finish? Club Bruges 2021. 2021 season. Let's have a look at Club Bruges. Club Bruges overview. They won the Belgian league. So they're the winners of the Belgian league. They went out in the group stage last time in the Champions League. They got to the round of 32. So they're beatable. Club Bruges are definitely beatable, but they are the champions of Belgium. So you've got Man City, champions of England, PSG, everyone's favourite to win this thing, RB Leipzig, tricky, and then you've got Club Bruges, who are the Belgian champions. So that is a hard group. I would expect Club Bruges to get whipped by all three of those teams. I still think Man City, PSG will go through, but RB Leipzig will make life difficult. That is a difficult little group, that is. Then you've got Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Porto, and AC Milan. Difficult group. Then you've got Sporting Lisbon, Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund, Ajax, and Besiktas. Difficult group. You've got Inter, Real Madrid, Shakhtar, and Sheriff Tiraspol. Inter Real will easily get through that. Then you've got Bayern, Barca, Benfica, and Dynamo Kiev. I think Bayern and Barca easily get through that. Then you got Villarreal, Man United, Atalanta, and Young Boys. Young Boys are going to get whipped. And then it's going to come down to Villarreal, Man United, and Atalanta. I feel good that Man United will go through. And then I think it'll be down to Villarreal or Atalanta that join them. Lille, Sevilla, Salzburg, Wolfsburg. Difficult group. Not hard if Man United were in it, but just hard to see who's going to go through. I feel like all four of them teams are quite even. Lille, Sevilla, Salzburg, and Wolfsburg. I think that's tricky. Hard to say the two that go through from that. And then the final group is Chelsea, Juve, Zenit St. Petersburg, and Malmo. I think Chelsea and Juventus easily get through that. So, right, we're done. We're going over to the press conference.
This is the final press conference.
When is the Europa League draw? I'll have a look for you. Europa League. Europa League draw is tomorrow. Europa League draw tomorrow. Okay, so we've got the press conference. Shakhtar actually defeated Inter in last year's group stage. Yeah, you will get things like that. You will get little upsets. But as a Man United fan, I have to look at that and say I'm pleased with it. And I have to look at it and say I'm pleased PSG don't have it easy. If they don't hit the ground running, they could be in trouble. I don't think they go out, but... Okay. Amanda Serrano. I know they're really, really building her up, saying she is probably the pound-for-pound women's champion. Daniel Dubois on the card. And Tommy Fury. So there's Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury sat just behind Jake Paul. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. It's going to be absolutely huge. I can't wait. They've got all the fighters up there. They haven't got just Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. They've got Daniel Dubois up there. They've got Tommy Fury. Steven Espinosa making his way to the podium. Could we see Jake Paul fight for a boxing belt? That's his goal. Yes, that is his goal. He says he wants to be a boxing champion.
You know, Showtime has been in boxing a long time. It's got a long history in the sport. But the thing about boxing is it has a way of always surprising you.
The thing about boxing is that it has a way of always surprising you.
Jake Paul upsets the apple cart and changes everything. And personally, I find it exciting. It's exciting to see the sport change.
He says he finds it exciting to see the sport change and evolve. I mean, I think it's exciting that there's kids that are tuning into boxing that maybe wouldn't have before. The conversation always is, though, how do you make those kids tune into proper fights, like proper world title fights? How do you get them to enjoy boxing and stick around?
But the other thing about this card is it's filled with fighters that didn't listen.
This card is filled with fighters that didn't listen.
Women, one from Puerto Rico, one from Chihuahua, Mexico, who didn't say no when they were told that they couldn't become
Fighters that didn't say no when they were told they couldn't become.
country to pursue their dreams. And Ivan Granchik, Belarus,
Great fighters. And he's talking about, like, the background of some of the fighters. It's quite interesting. One league title in 30 years. Still the most successful club in Europe. Days get away. Liverpool walk through AC Milan, and we smoke Porto every day of the week. I don't think you can argue that's a tough group, though. I mean, Atletico Madrid, Porto, and AC Milan. Do I expect Liverpool to get through that? Yes, I do expect them to get through it, but it's a difficult group. Boxing doesn't need Jake Paul, says the high flyer. That's true. Do you think Paul's size is a little too much, or does T-Wood get him? No, I don't think the size is an issue. I think that, I'm starting to lean towards Jake Paul's going to win. I think that he's prepared really well for this. I like this. The guy says your resume doesn't matter. Your social medias don't matter. It's true. Your fan base doesn't matter. What you've achieved in the past doesn't matter. I mean, Woodley has been there, done it. You know, he's going to be so relaxed. The only problem is Woodley going to be too relaxed? But he's looking shredded again. Like, his six-packs come back. His training videos look really good. We're just watching... we're watching Showtime at the moment. Talk. We're waiting to get to the fighters. The money here is seeing what Jake Paul says, what Tyron Woodley says. Obviously, that's what people are waiting for. Jake Paul is sat shirtless, by the way. He's not wearing a top. He's just got loads of, like, chains on. Okay. Nice little hype. Jake has put work in all fairness, and as much hate as he'll receive for winning on Saturday, he is evolving into a real boxer, says High Flyer. Jake can box, that's plain and simple. Logan is a YouTube boxer with some skill. Keywords, Jake Paul, I could see being an actual boxer. Here's Jake Paul. Here he is. Big week of business. Very respectful at the moment. He said, when we partnered with Showtime, we knew this would be a massive event. Yeah. Seems like it's going well. He said the decision to go with Showtime seems like it's going well. He says that he texted Floyd last night to say he'd already matched his pre-buys. Richard K said, who have you got in Joshua Usyk? I'm probably going to go Joshua. is talking about how today is Women's Equality Day.
And shout out to all the amazing women out there. And for this whole
Shout out to all the amazing women.
I'm on the card. To me, it didn't seem right that she was just saying she was on the card. So I want to make her the co-main event. Talk to Showtime about it, making Amanda co-main event.
So Amanda's going to be the co-main event.
Deserving of that. She's one of the greatest to ever do it.
So Amanda's been announced as co-main event.
Happy Women's Equality Day, and let's start this press conference off.
He said, "Happy Women's Equality Day, and let's start this press conference off." It's a very reserved Jake Paul, respectful Jake Paul. I'd imagine it won't stay that way, but
All of you here to hear from the fighters. That's what we're going to do. And of course, start the card off. Cleveland's going to get a treat because they're going to get one of their homies. Native Clevelander. This guy was in the 2016 Olympics. Charles Conwell. Unbeaten.
okay. He's talking about the undercard.
In 11 of his wins, by knockout.
Tyron Woodley is going to win knockout. He took the co-main from Fury. What a genius.
9 of his victories have come by knockout. And Charles, we'll start with you. Let the people know, what does it mean to be fighting back here at home? Fighting on this card.
I actually thought she was going to be the co-main, though. When they first announced it, they really built her up. Here's Charles Conwell.
Fight back at home in the city. Bringing it back home.
Top 10 ranked junior middleweight, Charles Conwell.
Doesn't get to see me fight back at home, so to bring it back here and just to have all the local support and everyone back on home.
Barcelona need to watch so they don't lose 8-2 to Bayern again. Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that game.
Fighter, certainly taking on another unbeaten fighter. But when you look at it, you certainly haven't fought anyone that has a resume like Charles. Talk to me about this fight and what should people of Cleveland expect when you guys get in the ring.
Juan Carlos Rubio is who they're speaking to at the moment. So we're just dealing with one of the first fights on the card. I also heard Ronaldo spoke to Pep this morning, says Shamar. We are those supports and we come from Liverpool. Don't believe anything that comes out of Paul's mouth, says JJP Gaming. R.I.P. Barca again, says OP. Marty Spoon said, I'm back weightlifting today after having problems. Haven't lifted in 2.5 weeks. Shola said, I feel like Jake Paul is nervous. This is Showtime now. It's a bit different. It is different. It's definitely different to that Triller stuff we had to sit through. My God, what a car crash that was. I hated that show. What I did like was I did enjoy the fact that it was, I didn't mind that it had some music and it did a few different things, but God, it felt like a concert with a fight at the end.
We already know what Tyson Fury is all about as a fighter. What will we learn about Tommy Fury?
What will we learn about Tommy Fury? So,
Just like to say a big thank you to everyone turning out. Really appreciate it, guys. Love to see you all. I'm very happy to be in Cleveland. Very happy to be performing for all you guys.
I'm happy.
Obviously, Tyson's very familiar over it. I'm about to be very familiar over it.
I'm about to be very familiar. There's a smile on the face of Jake.
Man, you're going to see that Sunday night. Anthony? Tommy's talked about
They've chosen that image for a reason, haven't they? They've clearly put Tommy and Jake Paul together for a reason.
talked about Jake Paul a lot. You think he's overlooking?
Here's Anthony Taylor.
Absolutely. Like, I've been telling everybody, Tommy just feels like he's flying into Cleveland, step in the ring, and faces off with Jake Paul. Like, hey, I'm your opponent, bro. Like, don't look down on me. Yeah, I'm 5'7". Of course you're gonna look down, but
Okay, so Anthony Taylor saying that he thinks that Tommy Fury has been looking past him and has been looking to Jake.
Tommy, give you the final word here. I just want to say one thing. If this man thinks I've overlooked him, he's very wrong. I've traded like I've got shot at all these belts on Sunday night. I've put myself away for 8 weeks and grilled myself to the limit. I've been to hell and back for this fight.
Tommy Fury said he's been to hell and back for this fight.
Not thought about him. I don't think about him. The only man I thought about and I've been thinking about for this whole training camp is Anthony Taylor. Sunday night, I'll get the job done, and then whatever else lies ahead, we can think about them. But until
This man's getting knocked out cold.
I'm telling you, you're not going to touch me. You're not going to knock me out. You fought catfish, bro.
I like this. This is good. Tommy Fury and Anthony Taylor going back and forth here.
What have you done, big man? What have you done?
Tommy Fury says, "What have you done, big man?"
I hope your bottom of your boots is going to be sponsored because everyone's going to...
I hope the bottom of your boots is going to be sponsored. Tommy Fury can talk, man.
Talk all you want, enjoy all the limelight, lap it up, get as many deals as you said. Take all these cameras in because I swear to God you're going to give everybody an interview in the room 100% because you've been after it all week. So lap it up.
Laugh it up.
After Sunday night, it's over for you.
After Sunday, it's over for you.
Enjoy the cameras, light camera. Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Go ahead.
You're not cut from the same cloth. Your brother.
Here's the great thing, folks.
He's
That's what starts the night off. That starts the night off.
that's going to be a good fight.
See you on pay-per-view.
I mean, I'm interested in seeing it. I think a lot of people, because Tommy's been so vocal about Jake Paul, I think a lot of people are interested in tuning in to see Tommy fight. See what he says after. Hopefully he wins, of course.
In 1. 7 knockouts. Taking on Ivan Baranchyk. 20 and 2. 13 knockouts.
Are you excited for October 9th? What's on October 9th, bud? I really like Tyson Fury, so Tommy versus Jake would be hard. October 9th will be fun. Is that Fury Deontay? Is that what it's been moved to, October 9th? Yeah. I wish we were getting Joshua Fury, though, to be honest. Unbeaten 140-pound prospect Montana Love. Richard said, is Tommy related to Tyson? Yes, brothers, I believe. Yeah, they are related.
Both of them have come to southpaws. He's a southpaw.
You've had 2 losses in your career. Both have been to southpaws, and this dude's a southpaw. Ivan Baranchyk. Former junior welterweight world champion. It's a good little card, this. It is a good little card. Daniel Dubois is a decent name here in the UK as well. So he's coming up after the next one. So they have put together a good little card here. There's a third one too that's a monster. I forgot his name. Tyron Woodley is going to win by knockout. Edward said Tommy Fury is Tyson Fury's brother. Brothers but with different mothers. Alex, yeah, far away.
Folks of Cleveland, the boxing world will be saying about Montana Love after this fight.
My city, they behind me 100%. They support me.
What will people be saying about Montana Love after this?
Yes, sir. We training hard.
He says, well, I'm training hard. They know. All Jake fans are going to be my fans. Coco main event. US debut of Daniel Dubois. Coming off a loss, isn't he? To Joe Joyce. You're going to feel that bone structure. Can you imagine this dream match? Ilya Dragunov versus Finlay from 06. That would be amazing. That'd be brutal. Richard said, who have you got in Joshua Usyk when they fight? Joshua. I think Usyk's a brilliant fighter, former cruiserweight champion, and someone that is going to have good speed. I think his knockout power should translate. Like, it's going to be a tricky fight, that, for Joshua, Tricky fight, but kind of feel like he's going to be fully prepared for it. He won't take him lightly. Like he potentially did with Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz was a last-minute replacement, though, don't forget. So I think he'll be ready for Usyk. But it's going to be tricky. There could be a few nervous moments in there, but I think Joshua gets it done. Here's Daniel. It's my US debut. I want to look good and I want to win in devastating fashion. We've got high hopes for Daniel Dubois. We do have high hopes for him.
Heavyweights. We all know what heavyweights bring. That's all action. And then we get to what Jake is now dubbed as the co-main event. And it's featuring Amanda the Real Deal Serrano.
Amanda the Real Deal Serrano. I think they've done a really good job, you know, of promoting the card.
Taking on the WBC Super Bantamweight Champion.
If Tommy doesn't get the job done in under 3 rounds, he won't get Jake for a while. Jake and Anthony are training partners, and Jake is miles ahead.
You said this is the fight, though, that will steal the show. Tell us why.
First, I want to thank Showtime.
Amanda Serrano says that she's coming to steal the show. She is the WBC WBO Featherweight World Champion.
Amanda and I have a bet to see who's going to get a doper knockout.
I don't have that much money. Remember, I am a female boxer.
No, but the bet is like we have to jump in the ocean or something like that. Remember?
Okay. We'll talk about it. But, yeah, no, thank you so much for putting your faith in
Amanda Serrano and Jake Paul are just having a joke about who's going to get the sicker knockout.
And, yeah.
And Amanda Serrano said, I'm only a female boxer, don't forget, Jake. I don't have that much money.
My only babies that I have, and it's gonna be very, very hard for her to beat me, for her to take these back to Mexico. She's gonna go home empty-handed.
She says that her opponent's going to go home empty-handed. I think Amanda Serrano is heavy favourite in this co-main, you know. Heavy favourite. Oh, we're building, though. We're getting there. Again, they've took their sweet time going around the houses, but we're getting there. Jump in the ocean. Yeah. She's like, we'll talk about it. I don't think she was that keen. The day I see why I will pop so hard. Tyron Woodley is going to win by knockout, says Brendan. Macedo has got a Mexican jacket on. Looks quite nice.
Yes, I'm coming up in weight class, but I am in Super Bantam. I'm one of the biggest fighters, so I'm prepared. I feel very strong.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win on Sunday.
If you agree, the topic of fantasy booking warfare is Bray Wyatt in AEW and Impact. If you agree, the topic of fantasy booking warfare is Bray Wyatt in AEW and Impact. I don't understand what that means. Are you streaming anything later tonight? I've got Wrestling Escape Pod later and a members thing. Okay, so we're just on the co-main at the moment. We're waiting for Jake Paul to speak.
As if I am, that, and I hope that people can, acknowledge that women are here and we're champions as well.
She said, I hope people can acknowledge that women are here and that we are champions as well.
Young viewers to see that women boxing is awesome too. And yeah, I want to thank Yamila for taking the fight, but
She's laughing at her now, Serrano. She's like, I want to thank her for taking the fight, but here we go. This is what we've been waiting for. Jake Paul.
First time as a professional fighter. 3-0. All 3 of the victories.
3-0 as a professional fighter, Jake Paul.
UFC champion. He's known as the Chosen One.
Taking on former UFC champion. We haven't heard from Tyron Woodley at all. The camera hasn't focused on Tyron Woodley at all.
Is this the fight?
Is this the fight?
Where all the naysayers, all the critics say, you know what? This cat's for real. Yeah, 100%.
Jake Paul says, yeah, 100%. This is the fight.
He really is the chosen one.
He is the chosen one. This is the fight that would stop the naysayers from, talking trash.
Explosive, knockout power. That's all cool, but none of that matters Sunday night.
None of that matters Sunday night about what is achieved.
Turning him
I'm going to turn him into a meme.
This kid can fight. He's got skills.
He's going to realize this kid can fight.
It's nice. That inside fighting is nice. That body work is nice. That jab is nice. That 1-2 is nice.
Body work's nice. Jab's nice.
Nice.
Inside work is nice.
People are gonna be surprised. I haven't shown shit. I can fight southpaw too.
People are going to be surprised.
Haven't even shown that yet. So yeah, this is my coming out party.
Jake Paul said this is his coming out party. I kind of like that from Jake Paul. He's like, he's going to realize that my jab is nice, my inside work is nice, my 1-2 is nice. I haven't shown anything yet.
Explain that to us.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, I'm almost falling asleep over here because it's kind of...
Yeah, you're gonna be falling asleep on Sunday.
Tyron Woodley said, I'm almost falling asleep over here. And Jake Paul said, you're going to be falling asleep on Sunday.
How much of a clown I have to be recognized. It's discussed how much clout people have to chase. When you really look into what the word clout means, it's the appearance of authenticity. It's the appearance that you're the real deal. It's the appearance that you really about that action. But I'm really like that. At the end of the day, walking around looking foolish, where the fuck is your shirt at, number one? Number two,
Where's your shirt?
This is a fight game. We're fighting on Sunday with no shirt on.
you can say what you want to say, but you do what you think.
So Tyron Woodley asking Jake Paul where his shirt is, saying how he looks like a clown.
Screaming and yelling and doing the memes and all this other stuff, the whole money thing, the whole bling thing, that's all built to build the fight. But we here, I ain't got shit to say. You getting hurt on Sunday.
You're getting hurt on Sunday.
All your sugarcoating ass, cheerleading ass, fucking cheerleading ass, people that are around you have lied to you.
Everyone around you has lied to you.
They don't want to lose their bag.
They don't want to lose their bag. So he's basically saying, like, you're paying all these money to say how, like, people all this money to say how great you are. You're going to find out on Sunday you're not.
You can make as many bets. The only thing I bet on is myself.
The only thing I bet on is myself.
I know that the whole time. So I'm just really, to be honest, sorry all the people in the media, I'm just ready to fight.
I'm just ready to fight.
I ain't got no BS. I ain't got no rap.
Oh, man, this thing's so huge. I think if people are saying Jake can't box, then you're delusional. I hate Jake, but you do have to respect him, says Marley.
It was never a bet. It was just him saying that I worship Tyron. He's a legend. I played him on a video game in career mode, and I want to get his name tattooed on me. That's all I heard. I didn't hear a bet because there's no way you fucking beat me on Sunday.
Yeah, I got a tattoo artist coming to tattoo you after I knock you out.
I wish you brought your tattoo artist. You comfortable with them.
You should
And they've done many tattoos.
Okay, so they're talking about the tattoo thing. Tyron Woodley's backtracking on it.
I already paid you a bag.
Pay my charity a bag, and
I already paid you a bag. And yesterday we were talking about, oh, this kid doesn't, he's not real.
Richard K said Ilya Dragunov, Adam Cole would be amazing.
More than you've ever been paid. I paid you 4 times more than you've ever been paid.
all the reporters double what they making.
You should be thanking me, son.
You should be thanking me. I'm paying you more than you've ever been paid, says Jake Paul.
I have a question for you, but I'll wrap it up with this. It is for both of you. I'll start with you, Tyron. For the people who are going to buy this pay-per-view,
For the people that are going to buy this,
come out to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse,
what can you guarantee?
to see Sunday night?
So I'm gonna go big, all aspects, all categories. I'm going crazy.
I'm going crazy on Sunday night.
I'm blessed for the moment, blessed for the opportunity, thankful for the coaches in my corner, the people that surround me. I'm thankful for the haters. I'm thankful for the people that
He said, I'm thankful for the... I got to tell you, Tyron Woodley looks bigger. His arms look bigger.
yes, and all the people that are coming against you. That tells you that it's so much power for what you're about to do. And I'm about to make a scene on Sunday.
I'm about to make a scene on Sunday.
People who buy this pay-per-view, they're going to come out to the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. What can you guarantee them on Sunday night?
Look, another show, another masterful performance.
Jake Paul said, I can guarantee you another show, another masterful performance.
3-0, 3 KOs, that's for a reason. I didn't even get warmed up in my last fight, so this guy's gonna go to sleep.
This guy is going to go to sleep
Turned into another meme, like I said.
and get turned into another meme.
His little guy, Ben Askren, who he was in the corner.
And then a mention of Ben Askren now by Jake Paul.
After Sunday, no one ever
He was already
about this
retired.
guy.
Jake Paul says that Tyron Woodley is just a speed bump in the road.
He is a body that I am using to add content to my highlight reel.
You're a clown. Tyron Woodley calls him a clown.
Your crew a clown too.
Your crew is a clown too. Looks like it's going to be some media questions. This could get interesting.
My question is for Jake. Jake, how much of a step up do you feel that Tyron Woodley is for you?
How much of a step up is Tyron Woodley?
You know, it's a big step up. I mean, there's no other
Big step up.
at 3-0 who's taking fights against, world champions. I want challenges. I want to push myself.
He says he wants challenges and he wants to push himself, but he's still not facing a boxer.
I'm not motivated. So I like stepping into the unknown. I like pushing myself. And that's what this fight is about. This is a test. I expect him to come out sharp.
He said, I expect him to come out sharp. I expect this to be a test.
He's doing the whole spiel, the whole shebang. So this is going to be a fun one.
Okay. This feels 3-0 faxing former champions. Tyron Woodley's going to win, says Brendan. CCSYT is ready. Moldy Spoon said, I'm going to see if I can find a stream because I'm not going to pay for this. Shola said, Tyron Woodley backing out of the tattoo bet. I always thought that was a mistake, him going with that, to be honest.
There's nothing more powerful. Puerto Rico is amazing. Training in that heat, that humidity, prepared me. It got my cardio on a whole another level because there's nothing else like that. Training in Big Bear high altitude, it's hard to breathe, but it's almost harder to breathe in Puerto Rico.
Jake Paul saying, high altitude, it's hard. It can be hard to breathe. Talking about his training. Tyron is destroying him on the mic. Says Retribution. Jake is going bye-bye on Sunday, says Edwards. Tyrone is better than any boxer who is 3-0 is facing, says CCSYT.
I think, in general in combat sports, you start seeing
Couldn't hear the question, then it kept cutting out, but Tyron Woodley heard it.
mag behind it, and people start to replicate it. The thing about this fight, it's a fight. It's not the YouTuber versus the TikToker versus this.
Yeah, this isn't YouTuber versus TikToker or anything like that. This is a fight.
You just built. And you look at the determination, it's a fight.
It's a fight.
Some people before was brainwashed and they was tricked into a point of taking it lightly. And I feel like that's why they came up sharp.
Tyron Woodley said that people took this lightly last time. They were tricked into take it lightly, but he said that he's not took it lightly.
Always a fight. And for me, being able to train and being able to have just the fun again and the passion behind it and being pressed in a different way made it great. So I can't really speak for everybody, but I feel like this fight in particular is the only one of this new sizzle realm of the entertainment aspect really
Yeah.
exploded in combat sport. That's a real fucking fight as well.
He said this is the only one of these kind of things that's going to be a real fight.
When you decided to fight Tyron, is there truly bad blood between you and him, or is there some level of respect of what he's accomplished in the UFC, and this is just a lot of talk?
Nah, I mean, there's no real respect.
Jake Paul says there's no real respect between me and Tyron Woodley. I don't think either person has landed a knockout blow verbally here. I kind of feel like it's just a little bit of bickering, bit of back and forth. There's some nice little moments, but they're just calling each other a clown, saying they don't respect each other, blah, 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 blah. The big talking point might be Tyron Woodley backtracking from the tattoo.
Got finished in the first round.
But I don't think there's any more than that.
Do you remember what I told you?
I know I was knocking out your friend and focused on that. You want to tell everyone what you told me, buddy?
I don't need to. I'm gonna show you on Sunday.
Follow question for Tyron.
Tyron Woodley just said, do you remember what I told you after the Ben Askren fight? And Jake Paul's like, nah, I was too busy knocking your friend out. Tyron Woodley's like, well, don't need to tell you again. I'll just show you Sunday.
He ain't showed me shit yet. So at the end of the day, I don't feel like I've been underestimated. I feel like the real recognize real. Anybody that has a flicker in their bone or old school that really can just, say what they really believe and not what they think sounds cool. Anybody who can really see the training, the mindset, the intensity that I've been putting in this camp.
You got like 3 different coaches.
Jake Paul says you've had 3 different coaches.
So I think he knows something that we don't know.
Tharuka, shout out to you. KSI would beat this guy. Jake is cringe, says Edward. I've got no clue who will win. Nothing will surprise me, says CCSYT. Retribution said, why is Jake shirtless at a press conference? Dunno. He just said earlier that they'll be fighting shirtless, so what does it matter? That's the only thing he said about it.
Well, I think just going off of what you're saying, jealousy is one of the biggest evils in this world, I think.
Jealousy is one of the biggest evils in this world.
Spot that wish they could be here, and I'm polarizing. I get it.
Jake Paul
I'm loud.
says he's polarizing.
Press conferences with my shirt off, so I don't give a fuck what people think.
He said, I'm doing press conferences with my shirt off because I don't give an F what people think.
You know, are scared to rub people the wrong way. I don't give a shit. No, the haters don't sign my paycheck. I do. So, you know, that's why people don't like me. That's why.
How quickly will this fight end? I think it'll go a few rounds.
Well, guess what? It is. I'm here.
CCSYT said Jake would murder KSI.
I am overlooking Tyron Woodley. You know,
Boring. Get Jake off TV, says Edward. Days, on another note, did you hear who Man United got? I was here for the draw, bud. Yeah, we started a good few hours ago and did the draw. Good group for United. I'd take that.
when you know what's gonna happen, you're top of the heap.
Tricky group for Liverpool and Man City.
When you know what's gonna happen,
All right group for Chelsea as well. All right.
Why would you not buy and come out to this fight? And it goes down this Sunday.
Why would you not buy and come out to this fight? It goes down Sunday. And again, we're streaming it. We are streaming it. Starts 8 Eastern. We will start a good hour, 2 hours before. The thing is, it's going to have a big undercard, though, of course. But we're all over that on Sunday night. All over it.
Thank you so much for coming out.
I think that's it. No knockout blows there for me. Nothing that anyone said that made me go, wow. Like, that was brutal. I think are we going to do it face-offs, did they say? I think they are looking to take the podium and stuff away, and I think we'll get some face-offs. So there could be some at there. But there was nothing verbally that I think's like, whoa. No one kind of came with anything pre-prepared or anything like this. It just kind of felt, I don't know, just like they were taking little jabs at each other, to be honest. No knockout blow. Can't wait for Jake to get smashed, says Retribution. Shola said, that was a bit boring. Dave in real life said, I'm not a fan of any of the Pauls, especially RuPaul. Yeah, but at least RuPaul is using, the platform for good. Whereas, like, Jake Paul, you could argue, has used YouTube, maybe not for the right reasons at times. It's all a bit negative and hostile and drama-driven. Although saying that, so is RuPaul's Drag Race. So I've been told. These face-offs are weird. They've just literally just moved the podium. The tables are still set. And there's just like this little... Look at the height difference there between Anthony and Tommy. So no messing up. I thought they were going to clean the tables away and have like the whole stage. They've literally just took the podium away and you've just got like this little space for them to do their face-to-faces. Okay, so yeah, we've got the face-to-faces. Neither guy wants to back away at the moment. They're just standing and staring. And there we go. Someone comes and actually separates them. That's got some fireworks, that Tommy Fury fight, you know. You'll never step back in America after I'm finished with you. That Tommy Fury one's got some fireworks, man. That Tommy Fury one's got some fireworks. This one looks alright as well. We're building up to Daniel Dubois. Look at it like this. Jake is 3-0 fighting Woodley, and people are saying he isn't fighting tough competition. No, it is. It's tough competition. Fury is 8-0 facing anything and getting no hate. Who's better, Woodley or Anthony? Jake's definitely facing tough competition, but he's not facing a boxer. He's saying that he wants to be taken seriously. He wants to win like world titles and all stuff like this. Granted, it's 3-0, and he's doing it because Woodley's a big name. But Woodley is also someone that has not constantly been working on his striking. Woodley's been working on his grappling, his wrestling, his jiu-jitsu, his ground game, as well as striking, and focused on a few things. The footwork in MMA is different to the footwork in boxing. So I want to see him go up against a boxer. If he's talking about being legit, then take on a boxer. Take on someone that is training boxing and has trained boxing constantly for the past few years. If he takes on someone decent boxer that's got a record of 5-0, but a decent boxer, someone that's been training boxing the past couple of years, I think that's where we start to say, well, this is legit, isn't it? But right now, he's bringing in people that aren't boxers, that have got, say, 14 weeks to become boxers. And that's where Jake Paul's not going to be able to avoid the criticism. He says this will be the one that will change people's perspectives. Woodley was face-to-face with Jake Paul. He then turns to the side, faces the front. Jake Paul saying a few things. Jake Paul turns to the side. Woodley just doesn't look bothered, man. Woodley looks very kind of in his own zone, doing what he wants to do. Jake Paul walking away. What do they want? They want one more face-to-face, do they? One more face-to-face, just from a distance. Woodley looking uninterested. Jake Paul saying a few things. Woodley just walks away. No fireworks there. Woodley not interested. Woodley looking very uninterested. He's not here to sell this fight. He's looking quite focused. Jake Paul taking a deep breath. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying this is tough. It's going to be tough for Jake Paul. He's taken on a former UFC champion, but he is taking on someone that's not won in 3 years, not knocked anyone out for 5. We've got a big lineup now of all the fighters. The Jake Paul Tyron Woodley stream is going to be full of streamers. What do you mean by this? Explain yourself, Austin316, and I hope you're well. The problem with Jake versus a no-name is it's not as sexy, and it would be a no-name because he isn't fighting a name, because that's too much. That is the problem, yes. But if this is their challenge, though. They've got to find a boxer. They've got to switch to boxers eventually, and they're going to face this problem eventually. Once you start getting outside of the champions, it's hard to find people that have got any, notoriety. But Jake can give them notoriety. Jake can use his platform to build up someone and build them as a credible threat and build them as, someone that, you might not have heard of him before, but you've heard of him now. But he might have to do that extra work in order to build them up. But he's got to switch to a boxer eventually. Can't imagine he's just going to keep facing old MMA fighters. Not if he's being honest about he wants to be a champion in the future. But at what point he does that, I'm not sure. You're absolutely right. I mean, this is where the money's at, him fighting names, but he's got to go to boxing eventually. I feel like history, if an MMA fighter would have fought a boxer, it would have been exactly the opposite. The boxer would get extra credit because he's fighting an unorthodox fighter. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of think that UFC and boxing, we're starting to we're learning more and more all the time about how those two worlds coexist, and I just think that for me personally, if Jake wants to be a boxer and he wants to be a boxing champion, he needs to face boxers and he needs to face people that are doing it all the time and have been doing it for years. So I'm personally not going to be all in on Jake Paul until I see that. Even if he beats Tyron Woodley, I'm not going to be like, yeah, Jake Paul's a future champion. Jake Paul's, I am right there that he is a fighter. I'm right there that he's got skill. I think this is undeniable. He beat Ben Askren, so it's undeniable that he's got skill. It's undeniable that he can fight. That is undeniable. But him going around saying, I want to be a boxer, I'm treating boxing with respect, I want to be seen as a boxer, I want to be a boxing world champion, but he's not facing boxers. That to me is that's the problem. That's the problem. It's sort of like saying I want to be an MMA champion, I'm treating MMA the right way, but then you only face boxers inside an MMA cage. Just look at the reverse, flip it and look at the reverse. If you want to be an MMA champion, you need to be facing MMA fighters. You wouldn't get away with stepping into a cage just facing boxers, because there's so much more to it than that. But I'm not selling the fight short. I'm excited for it. When it was first announced, I thought Woodley when it was first announced. As it's got closer, I'm starting to lean more towards Jake Paul. Okay.
Chaos ensuing here as we start to sort all of this out. Okay. Our takeaway, Lucas, cooler heads ultimately did prevail. Apologies, of course, to anyone caught in the crossfire there, but it's a real fight, Luke, and we're going to see Sunday.
Look.
Is upset because people are going at, or at least verbally sparring with his mom.
So Tyron Woodley getting a bit upset because apparently people are like talking to his mom. So actually, we have got a breaking story here. Right after the press conference has ended. Yeah, there's a lot of things being said here, and Tyron Woodley's getting upset because
Actually, it's not calming down at all. No, it's coming out, and as you can see right there, also.
yeah, there's lots of things that have been said here. The manager of Amanda Serrano is getting stuck in as well. There's stuff that's been said.
You know, BC, back in a different part of my life, I was a bouncer. Yeah, it looks to me like everything was fun and games until they got his mom's face.
Yeah, everything was fine until like his mom got involved, and he's walked off. And I think there's still a little bit of stuff being said. But I think that has kind of just settled down a little bit. But in all fairness, Jake Paul just having to stand out in the sidelines, kind of watch as this all kind of plays out. They're just kind of keeping him out the way. Tasty. Woodley has a chance to sleep Paul, but KSI has 0%. But do you want to be a boxer in an MMA ring? Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men, are undefeated. Well, there we go. The press conference is over. We did get a talking point at the end. The talking point, maybe not what we were expecting, not between Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, but actually people bad-mouthing Tyron Woodley's mom, and that's starting a whole thing. So looks like that was looks like that's what's caused the drama here. But the rumor's emptied out now. Looks like, yeah, we've just got people tweeting and sending things out. the odds have changed. I know when they opened, Tyron Woodley was the favourite. Right now, Jake Paul minus 190, Tyron Woodley plus 155. For there to be a knockout, technical knockout or DQ, Jake Paul is minus 225. Tyron Woodley is plus 165. I gotta say, Tyron Woodley looks in better shape. I'm looking forward to the weigh-in. We'll try and do the weigh-in as well. I think that's Saturday. It might clash, though. We might be doing our UFC stream at the time. But Tyron Woodley looks to be in really, really good shape.
That could be trainers. Looks like there's some friends, and it's hard to know exactly who's.
They're saying that it might not have been Jake Paul. It might have been trainers. It could have been some friends.
I gotta say, if it wasn't personal before, BC, it's personal now. No question about it.
Man, I gotta tell you, there's people walking around with their hands on their heads, and there seems to have been definitely some drama here at the end. Definitely some drama. Woodley plus 155. I need to go check that now. Earlier I mentioned I'm not looking forward to the spammers on Paul and Woodley stream. We might be able to change it to subscribers only. We could probably do that. Who have you got, Jake Paul or KSI? To me, KSI won't make it out of the first round. I'd have Jake Paul win. Felix said, I'm going to be a future UFC champ, and my first fight is I'm going to call out a boxer. No, your first fight has got to be a YouTuber. Then I think you do YouTuber again. Then I think you do basketball player. Then you go to a boxer, but like someone that's no good, and then you go to a slightly better one. That's the Jake Paul plan of attack. But credit where it's due. It's Tyron Woodley. When it was first announced, I fancied Tyron to get the result, and I'll be watching on Sunday. Not quite knowing which way it's going to go, but I am leaning Jake Paul. Now we've got a bit closer. I am leaning Jake Paul. But, yeah, Tyron could get the job done. Absolutely. So, it's going to be a big one on Sunday. Right, with that being said, we are done. I appreciate everyone joining us for this weird stream. It was Champions League. It was a bit of Champions League. The draw, amazing for Man United. It was obviously the press conference, which was a bit drab, in all fairness, but a few little fireworks at the end of it. But yeah, I can't wait for that on Sunday. It's going to be a big, big stream. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see some of you later for the Wrestling Escape Pod. Bye for now.